I had to do that just in time to cut the music right as the drop was about to hit. But we are ready to cast tonight. This is the Dota 2 Canada Cup, and we're rounding out Group B. Our final 3 games of Group B. Welcome everyone to the channel. I'm Niz. You're watching NizCast.
Remaining.
And yeah, we've got 3 games tonight. We're starting off with Team Leviathan versus Tshow.
Reserve time.
Following that, we're going to have Team Leviathan versus Pain. And then our final match will be Tshow versus Pain.
Dire team pick.
We'll determine who comes first in the group, who comes second, who's going to advance out of the group. Those top 2 teams, of course, both advancing. Bottom 2, we say goodbye to and send them packing. We already have Team Unknown, which played all 3 of their games yesterday, which we cast. And they finished 2-1. The only team to
10 seconds
to
remaining.
beat them was Pain. Both Leviathan
Radiant
and
team
Tshow
pick.
lost their games, so they're starting 0-1 right now. So this is actually a pretty big match between the 2 of them. If they if neither of them manage to win their next game, this will determine who
Radiant
finishes
team
third
back.
in the group. But either way, third doesn't really advance, so it's not the most important. But they definitely need to win this game if they want to advance. So they'll look to do that.
10 seconds remaining.
But we do have a stand-in for Team Leviathan. That's going to
seconds
be
remaining.
Demon Jimmy DotA. And
Dire team back.
the name for Tshow, I got nothing to lose. I have absolutely no idea who it is. It's a stand-in, or at least someone playing on a Smurf. It's a level 2 account. No aliases, nothing that I could potentially read into
10
on who that
seconds
could
remaining.
potentially be. So if you know, let me know.
5
Otherwise,
seconds remaining.
I guess I got nothing to lose on that one. But just
Reserve
calling them, I got
time.
nothing to lose. Well, before I make any more shitty jokes, let's get into talking about the draft. As we've got Team Leviathan, they're going to be playing on the Dire side. They've banned out Alchemist and Tuskar. Tshow, on the Radiant, they've banned out Doom and Darkseer. The picks: Gyrocopter and Slaughdar for Team Leviathan, Winter Wyvern
Radiant
and
team
Templar
back.
Assassin for Tshow. Now the second round of bans, we
Dire
got
team
Dazzle banned
back.
out by Tshow, Ember Spirit banned out by Team Leviathan, and Bane banned out by Tshow. All you guys heard was shitty jokes? Yeah, well that's nothing new here. That's what we
seconds
do best, I
remaining.
guess. That and miss kills on the camera so you guys can spam
5
T-Tours.
seconds remaining.
As T-Tours equals
Reserve
Niz space cast, no space. As I fail spelling that a few times. Hopefully we won't miss too many kills tonight, hopefully. We're gonna get first blood, and then we're just gonna hit the ball rolling from there. Hit the ground running. Hit the ball rolling. Is that even the saying? I don't. Oh God, it's a disaster. Queen of Pain. Thank you, Leviathan,
Dire
saving me.
team pick.
Saving me. Team Leviathan bans out the Queen of Pain. We saw an interesting item pickup from Team Unknown playing Queen of Pain in their 3rd game yesterday. The only game they lost. But their Queen of Pain picked up a Blink Dagger. Which, honestly,
10 seconds remaining.
it isn't the worst item pickup. You blink in with your
5
Blink Dagger.
seconds remaining.
And then you have your blink to either keep going further with your blink
Reserve time.
or then blinking back to safety after you kind of initiated. And then they try to turn on you and your team comes in and you jump out. It's not the worst. I
Radiant
didn't like it in the
team
game versus the team that they were up against and everything. I wasn't a big fan of it. And it didn't really work out for the Queen of Pain that game. She was jumping in, getting some kills, but got killed a lot. So, well, we're not going to see the Queen of Pain this time around. And it's Team Leviathan obviously
10
already picking up the
seconds
Slardar,
remaining.
so we expect that to be offlane, but Jenkins does play Queen of Pain
5
offlane.
seconds remaining.
And it's one of the things that Leviathan really likes playing is that Queen of Pain in the offlane.
Reserve time.
But we're not going to see that this game. We've got Slardar and now a Lich for Team Leviathan, so I expect that to be their offlane. Gyrocopter is going to be the safe lane. And then we're just waiting for a position, another support and a mid. Probably more of a position 4, even though the Lich is going to be in the offlane with the Slardar. It's going to be more of a position 4. Something that's probably going to scale a little bit better, but still be able to babysit the Gyrocopter. As for Tshow, they've already got their safe lane support, and the Winter Wyvern may start off defending the Templar Assassin in the mid lane, because that's where that hero is going to be. Now they'll probably... They could pick up their second support here, but they may pick up their offlaner. They're going to pick up the Spirit Breaker, so they're going to tell us nothing about that, whether that is their offlaner or that is their second support. I imagine that is going to be their position 4, and they're still going to pick up another offlaner. What's interesting is this early pickup of Templar Assassin. A lot of we know that Templar Assassin is used pretty heavily in pubs right now. But when it comes to competitive, she just never seems to make it through the pool. She always gets banned in the second set of bans or with the final bans, and we almost never see her getting through the pool. Now we're going to see a Wind Ranger getting picked up. That's going to be the mid laner for Team Leviathan. And it should be doing perfectly fine mid against the Templar Assassin. TA, TA lacks range early on. When you only put the 1 point into side blades, you're basically a melee hero, but you do have the ability of your side blades piercing through the target, and that's how you harass the ranged hero or the enemy hero in the mid lane. Wind Ranger is going to be able to stand back quite a bit, and she has a great attack animation, which obviously helps with last hitting, but more so it's great at harassing heroes and right-clicking those heroes and switching off creep aggro if you're too close for them to switch to you. And it's great for just kind of those little poke harasses, and that's one of the things that Templar Assassin she can kind of defend against with her refraction, but because of how good Wind Ranger is at doing that, you're going to burn through Templar Assassin's mana early on, forcing her to use refraction quite a bit more. And that's really what the battle is mid against Templar Assassin early on. It's not about trying to get through her HP pool. It's about trying to get through her mana pool. If you get through her mana pool, you're starting to win the lane, you're starting to take over, and TA isn't able to play anywhere near as aggressive. And when she's devoting the majority of her mana towards her refraction, that means there can't be anything aggressive coming out when she goes to try to make a play for a rune or something like that. So she's kind of stuck to just Bottle Crow, and you're able to take over the lane a lot more than if you had sat back and let her sit on a high mana pool and constantly use her refraction when she chose to. Juggernaut, the pickup for Tshow. So that's going to be their safe lane carry. Still don't know whether that Spirit Breaker is off lane or support. I still believe it is support.
5 seconds
so I expect to see an offlaner banned out here. They're going to ban out the Night Stalker,
Radiant team
which isn't really an offlaner or a support. Well, it's one of those two, but it's one of those ones that's pretty flexible. But it's one that would work quite well with the Spirit Breaker in the offlane. If like the two of them are there, and then the Spirit Breaker can charge away. The Night Stalker stays, and then at the first night 4 minutes, the Night Stalker can roam away after camping top rune and potentially try to get something done. And if he is going to go for something, Spirit Breaker can also charge kind of last minute and join on in. Team Leviathan going to pick up Visage. We don't really see Visage played very often anymore, and it's one of those heroes that does a lot of damage. It also provides you with a good amount of CC with your birds and good split push.
10 seconds remaining.
I'm a fan of Visage. The Soul Assumption is very,
5
very strong.
seconds
Especially when there's a lot of damage going out in a team fight, and Visage is able just to sit back and just
time.
throw out Soul Assumptions. So Earthshaker is going to be the pickup for Tshow. So it is going to be kind of that dual lane of Earthshaker, Spirit Breaker in the off lane. Earthshaker is probably going to be the one sitting up there, and Spirit Breaker is going to be kind of roaming around. TA in the mid lane, Juggernaut and Winter Wyvern in the safe lane. For Team Leviathan, it's Wind Ranger in the mid lane, Slardar, Lich off lane, Visage, and Gyrocopter safe lane. And Demon is playing the Gyrocopter, as he's going to be standing in for Team Leviathan this game, and we just need one more player to select their hero. And we'll be good to go for our first game of the night. Team Leviathan versus Tshow. Both teams currently 0-1 in their group. And here we go. So we'll start by introducing our Radiant side, as we've got Tshow. And their Juggernaut is being played by... I have no idea where to even start on this name. What? Juggernaut's going to be played by Juggernaut. Ned is going to be playing the Spirit Breaker. King RD is going to be playing the Earthshaker. Lovely Girl, or Lovely Grill, I should say, because we're on Twitch. It's going to be playing the Templar Assassin. This isn't actually going to be... Okay. I Got Nothing to Lose is going to be playing the Winter Wyvern. Still don't know who that player is, as they are a level 2 account, completely smurfing. But that should round it out for our Radiant side, Tshow. For the Dire side, we've got Leviathan. Shibby is going to be playing the Wind Ranger. Nusham is going to be playing the Visage. Demon, the stand-in, is going to be playing the safe lane Gyrocopter. Jenkins, who we saw lose a bunch of HP in the Radiant jungle, is going all the way back to Fountain, but he's going to be playing the Slardar. And Flying Zebra is going to be playing the Lich. I don't care what anyone says. Zebras do exist. I realize only one person in chat is going to get that reference, but zebras do exist.
Begins.
Just want to clarify that.
Every coin helps.
First runes going to both mid laners, as TA getting the bottom and Wind Ranger getting the top, as everyone makes their way to their lanes. And do we have the lanes that we expect? Earthshaker off lane going up against the Gyrocopter and the Visage. We've got Templar Assassin going up against the Wind Ranger mid. And the bottom lane is the Winter Wyvern and the Juggernaut going up against the Slardar and the Lich, with, of course, the Spirit Breaker roaming around. So we were right, 10 out of 10 on the lane assignments as we get set to start this game. Didn't notice anything unusual about starting items as I quickly scanned through it. Maybe you guys did, but I'm not noticing anything unusual. So I believe the lane to watch is probably going to be the bottom one, and see just how much Leviathan is able to get with this off lane. The Lich really brings that lane back, and this is why Lich works so well in the dual off lanes. Being able to sit there and sacrifice creeps. Not only do you bring the creep wave back towards your towers, we got action in the top lane as King RD's got a fissure block off on the Nusham, but he can't get in there and really attack Nusham, as Nusham even eats through a tree to get back to the safety of his tower, and that actually ends in King RD losing the majority of his HP. But we go back to talking about Lich in the bottom lane and what he does. Because he's sacrificing the creeps, he's affecting the creep equilibrium and bringing it back towards the tier 1 tower. And if the creep equilibrium's back towards that tier 1 tower, that means they're able to get more XP and also potentially more gold, because they're able to contest last hits. And this is why we're seeing Lich played in the off lane a lot more recently, especially with the 2-1-2 lanes. Lich really thrives in that. But he also, because he's sacrificing a creep, he's also taking away a creep from the enemy carry to last hit, and also starving that enemy safe lane of XP. And Jenkins being a little aggressive, pushing up here, getting a stun off onto the Juggernaut, but they knew that bottom rune was picked up by this Radiant side, so I Got Nothing to Lose comes on in with the Winter Wyvern, gets some good harass, and Ned doesn't really do anything. He just kind of walks in, and, well, he doesn't have mana to charge, and he can't get in range to right-click anyone.
No.
So he'll just sit off into the trees. He does have mana now to charge. So will we see the Space Cow charging on in? No, not yet. See how mid lane's going. We've got the Wind Ranger sitting at 6 and 2 CS versus the TA sitting at 16 and 7. So TA taking over this lane. Lovely girl dominating Shibby at the moment. Jenkins trying to come steal a little bit of this XP from the pull. Of course, when neutrals die, they split that XP with anyone in range, regardless of which team gets the kill on that creep. Top lane, Jimmy seems to be farming pretty freely on this gyrocopter. He's sitting at 20 and 6. And we've got King RD up to level 3 now. We look at the gyrocopter 20 and 6 CS, and we look at the jug 11 and 6. So already 9 CS difference between the two safe lane carries. So this dual off lane from Leviathan really working out for them so far. Starving the Juggernaut of those last hits, partially by sacrifice, but also just from lane presence. Now we're going to have a charge from the Space Cow. The target is Flying Zebra. Jenkins steps up. Nice 2-man Slithering Crush. And that prevents any further aggression coming out from Tshow. Chibi wants to make his way towards the rune, but King RD is there. Fissure block. And then he takes the rune, but now he's down to 100 HP as he got hit by that power shot, and Chibi's on the chase. He's got 1 attack, he needs 2 more. Power shot, oh, off the mark. And King RD will actually get his boots delivered and a TP. We did have this charge from Ned, and he's going to go through with it, charging onto Shibby. Shibby's going to be able to retreat through his jungle, and that means King RD. Oh, will he get the fissure block? That isn't going to block. Oh, it does actually, just barely. And that means Shibby's just going to have to go the other way, but Nusham's there to help him out. TA's already said this is a waste of time. I'm going back to the mid lane. As, I've got pretty good CS so far, and I want to keep CSing.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
There's a TA. 30 and 11. Only 5 CS behind the safe lane farming gyrocopter. Pretty good stuff from TA so far. Wind Ranger's still struggling though. 14 and 2 CS. Pretty much on par, just a little bit behind the safe lane farming Juggernaut. It's a little weird that we're comparing the mid laners with the opposing team's safe laners, but it's the state that we're in the game right now. So I have to say Tshow definitely losing their safe lanes in comparison to Leviathan, but Leviathan definitely losing their mid lane in comparison to Tshow. So we've got an interesting kind of trade-off between the two teams here. As Nusham rotating away from top as he's going to go and place an observer ward, and immediately his movement is tracked by this observer ward, which is a little bit unusual for well, the Radiant side to use this observer ward early on in the game. And Nusham rotating right through there. They saw his inventory. They saw that he had 1 observer ward. They saw exactly that he went up here, so they know the observer ward's either here or here. And immediately that was pinged out by King RD and a few other few other players as well. Demon actually making his way towards top rune. He wanted to get there and maybe contest the rune with Shibby. But Lovely Girl got there first. Jimmy was just a little bit too late making that rotation. And Jenkins has picked up the bottom rune. It's an invis. And now he's going to look for an opening here on the Templar Assassin. He's going to get it. But Ned's up on the high ground. We're going to have a TP on in from 2 heroes. King RD and I got nothing to lose on that Winter Wyvern. Jenkins very, very low. But once again, 2-man Slithering Crush. And now we've got 4 heroes on the side of Tshow. And they're not going to be able to do anything further. So yes, the TA stays alive. They don't get the kill, but that's a lot of gold spent rotating there. King RD didn't really lose too much by making that rotation. Yes, he lost his 75 gold from his TP, but look at where the creep lane is. It's not like he would have gotten much up in this top lane. Bottom lane. Flying Zebra up to level 5.5. Let's take a look at the carries experience. We've got 200 XP into level 6 for the Juggernaut, and we take a look at the Gyrocopter, already level 8, 95 XP in. So you can see the difference between being up against a Lich and not being up against a Lich. That sacrifice is so valuable. Just removing one creep every single wave pretty much. And well, almost every single wave. You start with 44-second cooldown. You get it down to 36 with level 2. Some people, including myself, like to even put a third point into sacrifice, or at least I used to before. Ice armor used to be so valuable to pick up early on. We're not really seeing that build anymore. We're seeing just the 2 points in sacrifice, which gets it close enough. You got a creep wave coming down every 30 seconds, so 36-second cooldown. You can work with it. And with that change, illusion bottled up there. With that change to Lich's sacrifice in the most recent patch, which was of course quite a while ago, but sacrifice, when you sacrifice a creep, even if the enemy hero is in range, XP range, he doesn't get any XP for it. Whereas before he had to back in the lane to do so. They're making a rotation up to the top. King RD is going to lead with the fissure. We have the Omni Slash already used. Demon down to 300 HP. He's going to run. He's going to place the call down. And now Tshow is overextended. And their Juggernaut's going to go down. First blood, 8.5 minutes into the game. Second blood as well. As Ned on the Spirit Breaker is going to go down. So double kill for Leviathan as Tshow tries to make something happen. But Leviathan's just there with the counter. On the back of that, those 2 kills, they're going to go for the Tier 1 tower in the top lane. But Tshow's also pushing in the mid lane. They're going to get the mid Tier 1 tower. So the tower gets traded for either team. But Leviathan, the only team with kills on the board.
Bottom tower is under attack.
There's Jenkins stealing the creep wave, which means his creep wave is going to put more pressure on the tower, but he's getting charged by a Spirit Breaker. One of the things you have to be careful of when you're doing this. But Slither and Crush, TP out, and, well, 17%. Is in favor of Ned, as Jenkins was TPing there, and Ned just gets one auto attack, and it's going to be a bash. But that doesn't mean that Jenkins is in any kind of trouble, but it does mean TP cancelled, and he's now sitting at no mana. And he's actually going to stick around in the bottom lane. He could just run straight back to base, but he would miss out on a little bit of XP here, because the creep wave's going to meet right around here. So he would be able to sit back at the safety of his tower and soak up some of that XP. So doesn't want to miss out on any of that. Hitting level 6 is very important on Slaughter to get that amplify damage. But also level 7 is pretty important so you get that final point in your Slither and Crush, which is one of your main sources of damage. Well, outside of the additional damage you get from amplify. So now Jenkins will hide in the trees. Demon has just shown in the bottom lane. I don't think they saw Flying Zebra. He was staying off to the left side. Now Shibby also making rotation down here as well. They're going to look to try and get a pick off here. And either way, they're going to look to also push the bottom tier 1 tower. Because the pick off doesn't look like it's going to happen. But they've got 4 heroes in good position down here in the bottom lane. Tshow has completely evacuated the lane. They have vision of this Juggernaut through the Amplify. And they see where his positioning is. So they should know that this tower is going to be free for them, and Tshow not in a position to counter by pushing the opposing team's safe lane tower.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Glyph used to delay them a little bit. This tower will go down. Shibby's going to get the last hit, so a little bit more gold for the Wind Ranger. As we switch to net worth and see how the Wind Ranger's doing. Smoke used by Leviathan here. As TA leading the way, 6,000 net worth. Then it's the safe lane farming Gyrocopter at 5.3k. Shibby, the opposing mid laner, at 4.2. Juggernaut sitting at 3.2. Quite a bit behind the Gyro. And now we're seeing Leviathan using that smoke to actually go into Roche Pit. It gets pinged out by King RD. As they have the ward nearby, but the smoke was used. But looks like Leviathan's going to be able to take this Roche quickly. Another ping comes out from King RD. The Gyrocopter will pick up the Aegis. And once again, Tshow not in a position to really punish Leviathan for making a play like that. They had 2 heroes that had to go back to Fountain. And that meant it was just Ned in the top lane pushing. And trying to push up against a Visage that TP's on up here. That makes her way up there. It didn't even TP. How did Nusham get up there so quick? Oh, maybe he just ran with the smoke.
Radiant's middle tower is under
I thought they had 5 in pit. Must be wrong. Either way, Leviathan not not letting up here at all. Now they're pushing the mid-tier 1. They are set to fight. And this is honestly how I believe you play Gyrocopter right now. Hit level 6 and just go fight with your team. Call down is so good. Every ability you have is so good. You just pick up those treads, so you got a good amount of HP. You got your Aquila, so you got the aura, some more armor. You got the mana to sustain everything that you're going to be doing on the hero. Then you pick up a belt of strength, which is going to give you more HP, tank you up a little bit more. Then you build into a drum of endurance, or you can skip the drum of endurance and pick up your Yasha, and then eventually complete your S&Y with that belt of strength. Shackle's going to come out, it's not going to latch, and Jug just going to spin TP his way out. Demon TP'd on in to try and help with the damage there. But with that spin, the Gyro's really not going to be providing much damage at this point in the game. Most of his damage is actually magical, or the vast majority of his damage is magical. Until he gets some more items, then he starts doing a lot more with Black. Jenkins in trouble here. He did get Fissure blocked off. Nice play from King RD. They will eventually get the kill. And Chain Frost bounces around, but all three of these heroes are quite healthy. Mid-tier 1 tower went down while that action was going on. Familiars come in and stun, and will they be able to bring one down? They get one, so 100 gold goes to the Templar Assassin, but the other one gets away scot-free. We actually have a resummon available for Nusham. Kind of expected him to use it there, but choosing not to. It is quite a long cooldown, 180 seconds at level 1, and typically when you hit level 11 you want to be able to summon them back up, but that should be off cooldown before so. So we'll quickly run through our heroes, see who's got what. We got FaZe and Aquila on the Juggernaut. The Spirit Breaker just has boots and a stick, and buying some wards right now. King RD sitting at Tranquils, Soul Ring, and 800 gold. So making his way towards his Blink Dagger. We had that TA pick up the Desolator, which helped bring down that Familiar. Also sitting with Treads. And the Winter Wyvern's got his Tranquils. He's got a Magic Wand, TP, wards, and the typical support stuff. Moving on to Team Leviathan. So we got a pause from Tshow, as Winter Wyvern has DC'd from the game, so hopefully he'll reconnect in just a second. Flying Zebra's got his Tranquils, he's got his Buckler, so he's going to be working towards a mechanism. Wind Ranger, FaZe, and almost an Aghanim's just waiting on the Blade of Alacrity, sitting at 162 gold, so just over 800 away from completing that item. But also haste bottled up, but not really too much HP and mana to play with. So expect him just to bring down this stack, which is the triple stack. And that should give him enough gold to complete his Aghanims, or it'll get him close at least. He might need, I think he'll need a little bit more. Probably this camp as well to hit 1,000 gold. Maybe my math is just completely off right now. If it is, sorry. We got Nusham on the Visage. What is he sitting at? Boots. We've got Medallion of Courage and Point Booster. He's working towards his Aghanim so he can get one more Familiar. And we look, he has used his Summon Familiars again to get back to 2. But with that Aghanim Scepter, he'll be up to 3. Well, that's still quite a ways out, but we typically see the Visage farming a little bit more. As he's kind of that position 4. As for Demon on the Gyro, we just kind of went over his items. He's actually going to complete the Sange first. Or at least he's picked up an Ogre Club. This could be him building straight into BKB. But I imagine he will go for that S&Y. But we'll see. As for Jenkins, okay, this is what they're going to do. Shibby's not going to farm this until he gets Aghanims, and certainly he doesn't really have much HP and mana to play with to do so. It's going to be for Jenkins. So he comes up here, he's got his Tranquils, but look at his gold. He's sitting just about 2,100. He'll go close to 2,200 here. 2,250. In fact, he will get it. There's a Centaur Courser in the back, which means he'll have enough to get his Blink Dagger, and there it is. He's going to purchase it. And now he'll go back, get HP and mana, and so will Shibby on the Wind Ranger, and then the two of them will be ready to well, to go fight. And it was a Sange picked up by Jimmy on the Gyrocopter. Still have the Aegis ready, so we see on the minimap an L kind of drawn, which is just indicating that they're going to go and push bottom lane here. And there comes the TP in from Shibby. Jenkins running back and forth in the lane, but now he's figured out the direction he needs to go. He knows which base is his and which base is the opponent's as they charge down into the Tshow jungle. No one on the side of Tshow anywhere close. Closest hero is the Juggernaut in the mid lane. Since picked up a Perseverance since we just checked in. They're trying to go after the familiars up here. And did they get one? I think they might have gotten one. Yeah, there's a dead familiar right here. So NizCast losing another familiar. Another 100 gold going to, I believe that was the Templar Assassin.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Good position here in the bottom lane.
Structures are fortified. Dire's middle tower is under
sitting
attack.
a little far back. Had he been on this side, he actually would have been able to jump on that Winter Wyvern. But you don't really expect a hero to move that far forward. And we've got Tshow going for towers, going for the trades, but now we've got TPs coming in from Leviathan. TP was cancelled by the Juggernaut, and they're going to get the kill. Jenkins blinks on it and gets the kill with the crush. And now they're going to head up to the top lane, go after this Templar Assassin. Has a blink dagger, uses about a third of its maximum range there with that blink away, and then we'll TP. She'll still be fine, but definitely a lot more range available to that blink dagger. That was quite the short blink. So let's take a quick look at our gold graph, see where we stand in the game. 2,000 gold lead for Team Leviathan, as most of that is actually in towers. XP, about 2,000 as well. But Leviathan actually only has one more tower. It seems like they've been pushing towers a lot more, but it's just this one tier 1 left up in the bottom lane for them, and they haven't taken any of the tier 2s yet. So just a 1 tower lead and 2 kill lead. This is a very, very low scoring affair so far. 3-1. 4 kills in 18 minutes. Both teams playing this pretty safe right now.
Arms for the dead.
Leviathan getting closer to that mech on the Lich. Basically has enough to complete Headdress, or, well, now he buys Ward, so he doesn't have enough to buy the recipe. Getting close. There's the S and Y completed by the Gyrocopter. We also had the Aghanims finished by the Wind Ranger. So 2 pretty big items, pretty big core items for them. We've got another 1,000 gold to go for NizCast before he gets his Aghanims. And they're going to charge on him. They're going to try to set him back a little bit. Familiar just going to get the stun off onto the Space Cow. The second one also. Demon TP's on in. Call down. Dead Spirit Breaker.
What happened? Your leg's not working?
And this is definitely what I love about Gyrocopter. You need to be fighting. You need to be in the action because you are so strong at this point in the game. So many people play this hero passively. And how many carries
middle tower is under
would you see
attack.
TPing in to help a support 19 minutes into a game? Very, very few, but this is how you play Gyro. And we saw just how well it worked out for them there. TA's picked up an Ogre Club. Probably going to be going after BKB, I'm assuming. What about the Jug? How close is he to Battle Fury? Claymore? He's getting close. Just needs a broadsword. Have Roche back up? Not yet. They're checking with familiars. So I'm guessing that's going to be the next target. Leviathan looks like they're not ready to push just yet. They're going to get a deny on the bottom tower. So both teams even in terms of towers with Leviathan. Slight advantage because of that one deny. As I believe that's been the only tower denied so far this game. We're actually going to have a very quick respawn on the Roche. And Leviathan's going to know that with the familiars. Tshow doesn't really have a good way of checking. Or a safe way of checking. So they're going to rely on this Observer Ward to give them knowledge of the surrounding areas. And then they're just going to have to base check unless they can get a TA trap down there. But TA's been kind of homing herself around the top lane and to some extent the mid lane. I haven't seen her go anywhere near Roche Pit, and I think she's going to go down there now to get a trap up. His Roche is going to be up in 20 seconds. Nope, not going to place that trap. So Leviathan is going to potentially just be able to smoke up and run into the Roche pit. As soon as they know it's up, they're going to use a smoke right now to get a gank off on the Juggernaut in the top lane. It's going to work to perfection. As the Jug goes down, Jenkins getting the last hit there. As a 5th kill comes out for Leviathan. And then immediately drawn on the map to head down towards Roche, or at least towards the bottom rune. And now Ned has face checked, seeing that all those heroes from Leviathan are up in the top lane. He's going to face check Roche, so both teams now know that Roche is available. Because here we go, Leviathan making the way down here. We've got Demon farming up an Ancient stack. But not going for the full thing, just using the flak to soften it up. Doesn't want to lose HP before they go for Roche here. And look at the confidence from Leviathan. They're just posted up in and around Roche pit. We've got a smoke from Tshow just on the other side. But it's going to be very hard for them to engage here. They're going to find NizCast as he's kind of off by himself. But Roche has already gone down. Age is picked up by Demon on the gyrocopter. But now the Winter Wyvern goes down. We've got the Omni Slash coming out from the Juggernaut. And Leviathan's in trouble here. The Chain Frost is going to bounce around. That's going to give them a little bit of a saving grace. In fact, that might actually have just won the team fight. 4 kills on either side. Jimmy was trying to chase down Lovely Girl on the TA. He did have Aegis, but he was actually going to be too low. Now he'll go back to that Ancient stack. So a game where we haven't seen too many kills all of a sudden has 8 kills in a team fight. But Leviathan gets the Aegis, and they manage to hold on to it.
Dire's structures are fortified.
This Lovely Girl just kind of poking away at that bottom tower. BKB completed. Even used the BKB in that fight. They're looking for the TA in the trees. They're not going to find him. It looks like Jenkins picked up a Staff of Wizardry. He's going to be going after a 4-staff. Flying Zebra did complete the mech. Not sure if he had it in the team fight. I think he actually purchased it before, but I don't think he had it on him. I'm not 100% sure on that. But NizCast sitting 60 gold away from completing his Aghanims. Ned's gone Earn. Almost has Treads completed as well. Soul Ring being picked up by the Winter Wyvern. King RD's got his Blink. Going to be working towards a 4-staff, I believe. That's what their Ring of Regen's for. Jug. Okay, I was going to say, where did his items go? It's flying in on the courier, so battlefield is completed. We're going to call down from the gyrocopter here. As Lovely Girl's gone on the offensive. BKB popped, and it's so hard to deal with the TA early on when that BKB lasts forever. And for some reason, this hero just does a ridiculous amount of damage. Now Jimmy's in trouble on the gyrocopter. He's going to be fissured up, and that's going to be the Aegis. Spear Pricker going to go down, but Jug's going to go down here. Gyrocopter's going to respawn. Maybe not. The freeze comes out for him. I got nothing to lose, but on the end of this, he's going to go down. The Soul Assumption finishes him off. King RD blinks into the trees. He throws out a fissure, but Jenkins blinks on in. And now it's just a man fight between the two heroes, and a few other heroes come in and join the fun. But 3 kills going the way of Team Leviathan. They just lose their mid laner in Shibby on that Wind Ranger. So advantage Leviathan as they move ahead, 12-6 in kills. And that's about a 1,700 gold swing in their favor, as we'll open our gold graph and see where we stand. So it'll take a little bit to update here, but we're over 3,000, pretty much 4,000 gold ahead for Team Leviathan. As for XP, we're about 5,000 in favor for Leviathan as well. As Demon continues to stack, using that Helm of the Dominator to control the neutral creep and constantly stack these Ancients while other things are going on the map. And then when it's an appropriate size, he comes in, pops Flak Cannon so that he can attack all of them at once. And he's able to farm up those stacks and keep his item progression going, as we've seen him pick up an Eagle Song, which eventually is going to be a Butterfly. And that... although later on in the game we expect both Juggernaut and Templar Assassin to pick up MKBs, at the time being neither hero has MKBs, so there's going to be a point where that gyrocopter completing the butterfly is going to be extremely strong because of that evasion, and Tshow is not going to have any reliable way to pierce through it and get some good damage. So every time their carry attacks the gyrocopter, there's a chance that, well, they're just going to miss, and then all that farm, all those levels, everything that's gone towards that carry is going to be kind of wasted in that one attack. Force staff completed.
The mysteries
by the slugger. This new shop continues to do the split pushing. But another smoke from Tshow. Where are they going to go with it? They've got their Spirit Breaker showing in the mid lane, but these three heroes, they're moving through their jungle. I think they think that there's some heroes from Leviathan are down here, but they're not. They're all kind of grouped up around their secret shop.
Invisibility.
King RD sees the birds. Place an observer ward. They're not going to find a hero, so they're just going to back. As there was actually... there was vision of this bottom rune from Leviathan, and the Invis rune disappeared as the Earthshaker picked that up. So Leviathan knew what was up. Now they're going to smoke up and move down, but they're in vision of this observer ward, so Tshow knows that the smoke is here. King RD, now with that Invis, is just going to come and pop the smoke. But they are going to find a target. It's the Juggernaut. Will they be able to get the stun off? Nope. Flying Zebra could have interrupted it with the Chain Frost, but I don't think he was in range to cast it. That's the only thing that they have, besides Bash, from a right click from Jenkins, that would have interrupted it. Through spin.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Been a while since we saw Leviathan down here in the bottom lane pushing it, but finally they're going to get this tier 2.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
As they're not done, they're going to keep going. They're going to catch the Winter Wyvern who tries to escape with the Glimmer Cape, but amplify damage coming up from the Slugger in time, so they had vision. And now
are fortified.
they're going to try to break the top lane,
middle tower is
or
under
the
attack.
high ground, and break this tier 3 tower. As I say, it's going to be a while since we see MKBs coming out. I was completely wrong on that. TA
Radiant's bottom
had a little bit more gold saved up than I thought, as the MKB came out already. King RD jumps in with the Echo Slam, dropping Demon down to about half HP. Lovely Girl, though, losing a lot of HP, not able to pop the BKB, still on cooldown for 5 seconds. And Leviathan drops 2 heroes just like that as Tshow tries to defend 4v5. They end up losing 2 key heroes on their side, but also 2 racks. And now Leviathan's going for the tier 4s. Buyback forced out by the Earthshaker. No buyback available for the Templar Assassin because they just purchased that MKB. With that buyback, Leviathan will back away. Juggernaut was pushing in the top lane, but had to come back to defend once Leviathan was threatening those tier 4s. This one tier 4 actually almost went down. 213 HP on it. Both these tier 2s in the other lane still on full HP. So we got Chrysalis on the Wind Ranger. We got a Reaver picked up by Gyrocopter. It's going to combine with the Helm of the Dom to make Satanic, which Gyrocopter will be able to pop to increase his HP in the team fight. Not increase, but give him a significant amount of a lifesteal to get his HP pool back up after it's been withered down by, most likely, the Echo Slam. Almost 3,000 gold for Jenkins. Expect to see him get an AC. He may choose to go BKB, but I feel like AC is probably the better pickup for him. BKB is not the most important for him in this game in terms of what he's going up against. Yeah, you know, Earthshaker's going to be able to do a lot, and Winter Wyvern, like you can't prevent the Winter's Curse, and yeah, you're going to be able to prevent some of the damage coming out from Tshow, but I feel like AC would just go a lot further. We're going to get another fast Roche spawn. But the AC is going to give the Slardar a lot more damage, but on top of that, it's also going to allow his team to tank up a little bit more. Most of the damage coming out from Tshow is physical based, so that armor is going to help. They already have the ice armor to go against it. Nushan being a nuisance with these familiars going on to King RD, but uh-oh. Will all those birds get out of there alive? Yes, they will, actually. Jug only able to get one auto attack off. Roche is respawned. Flying Zebra spots it. But now we do have a trap in there from the TA. We can't see it, but it's in there. It's right under Roche. So both teams now knowing that Roche is available. Force Staff, not quite completed by King RD. Still needs 160 to buy the Staff of Wizardry, but he has purchased the recipe.
Middle tower is under attack.
Arms for the dead.
And Leviathan looks like they're going to get a free Roche here, so another Aegis. This time they're going to put it on the Wind Ranger, not on the Gyrocopter, as Demons are running out of room. Tshow, they've come, and they've checked out what was going on at Roche, and they're not going to get away safely as, ooh, Ned goes down, but Lovely Girl just barely blinks away before Jenkins able to get that attack off on the Templar Assassin. I believe she had Refraction up, so he wouldn't have been able to prevent the blink from coming out anyways, but Leviathan now going to go for those tier 2s. Demon is running down to the bottom lane. And yeah, he's kind of putting some aggression on the heroes down here, but mainly he just wanted to finish off the remainder of that creep wave because they've already got those racks down, which means the bottom lane's going to push in, and that's going to start threatening this tier 4, which actually Demon just comes in and attacks. But this is going to draw some of the attention of Tshow because of those creeps in the bottom lane. Now they've gotten the tier 3 down. They're just pushing right past it. They're going for heroes now. Lovely Girl's going to lose a lot of HP but get frozen up by her own Winter Wyvern. Winter's Curse comes out. Omni Slash comes out as well from the Juggernaut. Flying Zebra, very, very low HP, but he's going to be fine as his Chain Frost bounces to the Space Cow to save him. And Leviathan just run completely over Tshow in this fight and in this game as Tshow taps out. 21-6 is the kill total. 33 minutes in.
Victory.
As Leviathan takes their first win of the Dota 2 Canada Cup. They're now sitting at 1-1. Tshow dropped to 0-2. And of course we've got Pain Gaming sitting at 1-0, which we'll see go up against Team Leviathan in our next game starting in just over 10 minutes from now. As all these teams try to catch up to Team Unknown, which is currently, well, they're done all their group stage matches. They're sitting at 2-1. That's going to wrap it up for this one. Team Leviathan, they didn't play too well yesterday in their one game against Team Unknown. This game looked a lot better. They were in full control pretty much all game long. There was the one moment where that battle at Roche where we saw 4 kills go for either side. 8 heroes dead, but still Leviathan won out on that exchange. They got the Roche, they got the Aegis, and they didn't lose the Aegis in the team fight. So even that moment where it was a little bit closer, Leviathan still got the upper hand, and it seemed like all game long they were just in control. They were playing some good solid Dota. So it's good to see Leviathan bouncing back from their performance yesterday. Tshow, they've got some work to do. And well, they're sitting at 0-2, so they're going to try to get at least one win in the group stage in our final game of the night, going up against Pain Gaming. But that's not the next game. The next game is Leviathan versus Pain Gaming. We're going to see that in just about 10 minutes time from now. So hopefully you guys will stick with us. Once again, I'm Niz. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the cast. But before we go to break, we do have trivia, because that's what we're doing. We're talking about Canadian trivia. So what is our question? Well, we've got, in the US, you've got the American dollar. In Canada, we've got the Canadian dollar. We use similar denominations for our currency. So my question is, what is the difference, the big difference between the $1 denomination in the US and the $1 denomination in Canada? What do we call it? And also, we've got a $2 denomination, which the US doesn't have. What do we call that? So that's my question to you. And we'll talk a little bit about currency when we get back at the start of our next game and answer that question for you. But until then, we're going to throw it to music. And I'm going to get a much needed sip of water. And I'll be sitting there talking to you guys in chat. And we'll have a game in probably about 10 minutes.